After 60, try doing this in the morning. You could live 25 more years. Have you ever thought about what actually happens inside your body when you wake up in the morning? Most people just roll out of bed, grab their phones, or head straight for coffee. But here's the shocking truth. What you do in those very first minutes after waking up, what you drink, what you eat, and how you move, could be the single biggest factor that decides whether you live beyond 80, or whether your health declines much earlier than it should. Researchers now agree that small, low-effort habits done first thing in the morning can literally add decades to your life, and after age 60, these habits become even more powerful. In fact, they could mean the difference between slowing down and barely getting by, or living vibrantly into your 80s, 90s, and even beyond 100. So if you've ever wondered what it really takes to add 20 to 25 more years of healthy living, stick with me, because I'm about to share 4 simple morning practices that could change everything. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone you love. Trust me, you'll want them to hear this too. Mobility. The morning movement that keeps you young now. Let's talk about something that's often overlooked but could make all the difference in how you age. Mobility. As we grow older, stiffness becomes the silent enemy. When you wake up and don't move, your joints begin to lock up, your muscles weaken, and your circulation slows. Over time, your body becomes like a machine left unused. It rusts. Lack of mobility in the morning doesn't just make you feel stiff, it increases the risk of arthritis pain, worsens cardiovascular health, and gradually steals away your independence. Here's the shocking truth. According to the World Health Organization, WHO 2021, adults over 65 who remain physically inactive face a 30 to 40% higher risk of developing major mobility limitations compared to those who stay active daily. Another study published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that just 10 minutes of light movement in the morning can reduce stiffness and improve flexibility by up to 20% throughout the day. This is why your first few minutes after waking are so crucial. They set the tone for your entire body. Think of your body like water. Flowing water stays fresh, but stagnant water becomes stale. That's exactly what happens to your joints and muscles if you don't move in the morning. And here's more evidence. Research from the Arthritis Foundation shows that people with osteoarthritis who perform gentle morning stretches experience 25% less joint pain and report better mobility throughout the day than those who remain inactive. And movement doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as walking around your house for 5 minutes, doing gentle stretches in your bedroom, or even dancing to your favorite gospel song or jazz tune. A Harvard Medical School report, 2020, emphasized that even small bouts of movement, like 5 to 10 minutes in the morning, improve balance, blood flow, and lower the risk of falls by 23% in older adults. That's huge, because falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths among adults over 65. I remember visiting a retirement home in the U.S., and what struck me wasn't the age of the residents, but their energy. Every morning, even the ones in their late 80s and early 90s would gather for a short dance session. They moved gently but joyfully, some holding onto chairs for support, others clapping along with the music. The room was filled with laughter, and you could almost feel the life in the air. One lady who was 94 told me something that still echoes in my heart. If you stop moving, you stop living. Her words hit me because I realized she wasn't just talking about exercise. She was talking about the spirit of staying alive. So tomorrow morning, don't just sit still with your phone or TV. Choose life by moving, even if it's just a small stretch, a few steps around the room, or lifting your arms and rolling your shoulders. Movement is not about perfection, it's about consistency. And the statistics prove it. Older adults who move daily have a 50% lower risk of disability compared to those who don't. That means choosing to move is choosing freedom. If this part speaks to you, leave a comment below telling me your favorite way to move in the morning. And don't forget, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs the reminder. Because remember, movement is life, and life is worth choosing every single morning. Circulation, reset, waking up your blood flow. Most people don't realize that the early morning hours are actually the most dangerous for people over 60. Why? Because your blood is thicker and flows more slowly right after you wake up. That's why strokes and heart attacks are most common in the morning. When you jump out of bed too quickly, or when you start moving without activating your circulation, your blood may not distribute evenly throughout your body, putting dangerous stress on your heart. That's where a simple circulation reset comes in. Think of it like switching on the lights in every room of your house instead of just one. When you stretch, roll your ankles, flex your hands, or do gentle breathing exercises first thing in the morning, you're waking up your entire circulatory system. This ensures oxygen flows to your brain, your heart beats steadily, and your muscles get the fuel they need. I once read about an elderly man named Carlos in Spain who lived to 94. Every morning, he had a routine. Before even standing up, he would sit on the edge of his bed, roll his shoulders, stretch his arms, and rotate his ankles for 5 minutes. His doctor told him that this tiny ritual dramatically reduced his risk of blood clots and stabilized his blood pressure. And the man swore that those first few minutes of circulation reset were the reason he stayed healthy enough to still take long walks with his grandchildren in his late 80s. If you think about it, it makes sense. A river that flows carries life, but water that sits still becomes stagnant. The same is true for your blood. So don't let your mornings become stagnant. Wake your body up from the inside out. And while you're thinking about it, share this video with someone who needs this reminder. They'll thank you later. Hydration. Why lukewarm water with lemon can change everything. Your body has just gone 7 or 8 hours without a single drop of water while you were asleep. That's a long time for a system that's made up of about 60% water. When you wake up, your body is like a car engine that's been parked overnight. Imagine trying to start your car without oil. The engine would struggle and grind. That's exactly what happens to your organs, your blood, and even your brain when you don't hydrate in the morning. Now here's the key. Don't just grab an icy cold drink. Cold water shocks your digestive system and slows things down. Instead, start with a glass of lukewarm water, ideally with a squeeze of lemon. Warm water gently wakes up your metabolism, helps flush toxins, and kickstarts digestion. The lemon adds vitamin C, which supports your immune system and strengthens your cells against aging. It's such a simple act, yet it can transform how your body feels throughout the day. Let me share a story. I once met an elderly woman in Lagos, 78 years old, though you would have sworn she was closer to 55. She carried herself with energy, her skin was glowing, and she had this sharpness in her mind that even younger people admired. When I asked her secret, expecting some expensive supplement or rare herb, she smiled and said, "Every morning for the last 20 years, I've had a cup of warm water with lemon before anything else." Her doctors even admitted her heart health was better than many of their patients in their 40s. That's the quiet power of consistent hydration. So tomorrow morning, before coffee, before breakfast, try this. Hydrate your body the right way. And if this is something you think you can commit to, drop a comment below and let me know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more life-extending tips. Protein timing and the secret to morning nutrition. Here's something almost no one talks about, but it's one of the biggest secrets to longevity. After age 60, your muscles naturally begin to shrink. This process is called sarcopenia, and it's the hidden reason why older adults often feel weaker, tire more quickly, and sometimes struggle with basic tasks like climbing stairs, carrying groceries, or even getting up from a chair. Research shows that we lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade after 30, and after 60, the rate of loss accelerates dramatically. By the time someone is in their 80s, they may have lost up to half their muscle mass if they aren't intentional about nutrition and movement. That's a sobering fact, but here's the good news. There's a way to fight it. The incredible news is that you can actually slow down sarcopenia dramatically by focusing not just on what you eat, but when you eat it. This is where the concept of protein timing comes in. Instead of waiting until dinner to load up on protein, research now shows that eating protein early in the morning has a much stronger effect on maintaining and rebuilding muscle. Why? Because your muscles are most responsive to protein synthesis after fasting overnight. By eating protein first thing, you're giving your body the building blocks it needs to repair and strengthen tissues at the very start of your day. A 2019 study published in the Journal of Nutrition revealed something striking. Older adults who consumed at least 30 grams of protein at breakfast experienced 40% better muscle retention than those who had most of their protein later in the day. Another study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that spreading protein intake evenly across all meals, rather than saving it for dinner, improves muscle strength and reduces the risk of frailty by 25 to 30% in people over 65. These aren't small improvements. They're life-changing. Imagine being able to walk steadily, carry your grandchild, or stay independent well into your 80s and 90s, all because of what you choose to eat in the morning. Let me bring this to life with a story. My mentor, an 85-year-old professor, has lived by this principle for decades. While many people his age complain about weakness, joint pain, or memory lapses, he still stands in front of lecture halls for hours, travels internationally, and remains sharp as a tack. I once asked him what his secret was, expecting him to talk about supplements or exercise routines. But he simply smiled and said, "My brain runs on protein, not sugar." Every morning, without fail, he eats boiled eggs, cottage cheese, and a handful of nuts. Sometimes he adds yogurt or beans. He explained that this not only keeps his muscles steady, but it also gives his brain the amino acids it needs to stay sharp. Looking at his life and energy, it's hard to argue with him. Science backs this up too. According to the National Institute on Aging, older adults who consume sufficient protein are 60% less likely to experience functional decline, things like difficulty walking or dressing, compared to those who don't. Protein isn't just about muscles. It also supports your immune system, your skin, your brain health, and even hormone balance. So tomorrow morning, ask yourself a simple but life-changing question. What's on my breakfast plate? Is it just bread and coffee, which give you a quick sugar spike but no lasting strength? Or is it something that actually fights aging, fuels your muscles, and keeps you strong? Because the choice you make every morning could be the difference between living long but frail or living long and thriving. If this part resonates with you, drop a comment below sharing your go-to breakfast. You never know, your answer might inspire someone else to change their life. And while you're at it, hit that like button, share this with someone you love, and don't forget to subscribe. Because your mornings can truly hold the secret to 25 more years of strength and vitality. Here's the truth. Life after 60 doesn't have to be a slow decline. In fact, with the right habits, it can be a season of strength, wisdom, and joy. Your mornings are not just the start of your day. They are the foundation of your future. By hydrating with warm water and lemon, resetting your circulation, fueling your body with protein, and keeping yourself moving, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the one at 85 or 90 telling your grandchildren that your secret wasn't luck or medicine. It was the way you started your mornings. That's the power of habit. So here's my challenge for you. Which of these habits will you start tomorrow morning? Will you hydrate? Will you stretch? Will you fuel your body with protein? Let me know in the comments. And before you go, don't just keep this information to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone you want to see live, long, and healthy. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next video might just hold the key to your next 25 years of life.